Hey guys, Hitman89 here, making a video for buygames.ps, and today I'm gonna show you the best PS4 games of 2021. Let me know if you want to see an Xbox One version in the comments down below. Oh, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find it useful, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. You know, this channel is still new and any form of support is heavily appreciated. Now without further ado, let's start with the first game. Kena Bridge of Spirits is a beautiful game where you play as a young spirit guide who helps lost spirits find the light and move on to the other world. Despite being cute, the game can be pretty challenging. I mean, the combat system doesn't really have anything new, but it has a mix of special abilities, melee and ranged attacks, so all around it gets the job done. And I'm sure you'll fall in love with the soundtrack cause it's just magical. If you're a parent, Kena could be a good game to make your kids play, but you might need to help them with some puzzles cause even though they're simple to solve, sometimes the key elements you need can be hidden or at least not easy to spot. That being said, Kena Bridge of Spirits is still a good family-friendly adventure game and you should try it out. At number 2 we have a not so family-friendly game because we're gonna be looking at Hitman 3. And as you've probably already guessed it, I'm a big Hitman fan. I just love how insanely fun to play this game is. There is some tension, a little bit of action, and a lot of stealth. You should also know Hitman 3's got a huge replayability value. There are only 6 locations, but you'll find yourself replaying every single one of them at least 3 times just because of the overwhelming amount of approaches you can pick from. And even after replaying the same mission several times, you'll still make some new discoveries, and that's what I love about Hitman. Sadly, the animations are still too stiff, and like on most stealth games, the AI can be extremely inconsistent. You'll also notice that the heavily compressed cutscenes look way worse than the actual gameplay. That doesn't prevent Hitman 3 from being the best stealth game of 2021 though. Speaking of stealth, the third game on my list also lets you choose stealth as an approach. Ghost of Tsushima's got the Director's Cut edition earlier this year, and even though I recommend you play it on PS5, if you have a PS4 and you haven't played the game when it first came out, then you should definitely get this year's version. If you like confrontation, you can even challenge enemies to a standoff, but sometimes you'll find yourself overwhelmed by the amount of enemies that you'll have to deal with at once, and if that's the case, then you should change your approach. Picking a silent approach allows you to kill a considerable amount of enemies before they sound the alarm, so it'll make fighting them a lot easier. But when using stealth, you'll quickly notice that the AI can be pretty bad at times, and when you're in a hurry, the unskippable cutscenes could be a serious problem. Moving on to the fourth game, one of the best games of 2021 happens to be a horror game. Resident Evil Village looks amazing on all platforms, and even though it can be a little too action-oriented, especially at the end where you might think you're playing Call of Duty instead of Resident Evil, it still has some good jump scares that'll make you scream like a little girl. I can't be the only one who does that. And the whole atmosphere is creepy. Even when you're inside the Dimitrescu castle, with all its beautiful vintage decoration, you never actually feel safe. Oh, and speaking of which, so many horror games make me feel so uncomfortable that I stop playing them, but there is something about Resident Evil that always gets me so hooked that I can't put the controller down. If you haven't played Resident Evil Village yet, then you're missing out on a great game. At number 5 we have a Game of the Year contender, because It Takes Two is not only one of the best co-op games of all time, but it's also an awesome adventure game. The variety in terms of gameplay alone will take your breath away. Each chapter, you and your partner are given complementary abilities, so you have to work together if you plan on making any progress. You'll go from doing some platforming with nails and a hammerhead to fighting wasps with sap and fire. Next thing you know, you're fighting a squirrel on the back of a plane in a 2D Street Fighter combat style. Long story short, you won't get bored playing It Takes Two. You can obviously play it with a friend or a sibling, but playing it with your significant other and beating boss fights together is priceless. The only thing I don't like that much about It Takes Two is that the Book of Love, aka Dr. Hakim, isn't funny at all and can be quite annoying at times, but that's just my opinion. Maybe you'll find them funny. The most important thing though is that the game is amazingly fun to play and it's got plenty of mini games to unlock, so you can have some 1v1 action every now and then. And that's gonna be it for the best PS4 games you should play in 2021. Obviously, you should also check out games like the GTA Remastered Trilogy, Battlefield 2042, and maybe House of Ashes. All of the games you saw in this video are available on buygames.ps, the best website to buy PlayStation and Xbox games for super cheap and with lifetime warranties. You'll find their link in the description, so check them out. By the way, don't forget to leave a like if you found this video helpful, and please subscribe for more videos like this one and also some game reviews soon. It's been Hitman89, see you guys very soon.